I'm the GM for Intelligent Technology, international business, based in Singapore. So essentially, I'm wearing a mask because I'm in office, but still really glad to be able to be back in office. Yeah. So can't wait for the interaction that's going to follow after this webinar. I'm quite sure there's going to be so much discussion and opportunities together. But again, thank you so much for the invitation. Happy to be here.
Thank you, Derek. And next we have Richard Ng. So he is the blockchain developer from PundiX Labs. The floor is all yours, Richard, to do an introduction. Thank you.
Hi, so I'm Richard. I work with PundiX as a blockchain developer, and my goal in this blockchain ecosystem is to churn out very interesting and exciting products like the decentralized applications, and also to hopefully provide the masses with good information and accurate information instead of maybe relying on Elon Musk tweets about blockchain.
Thank you, Richard. And last but not least, we have Daniel Laverick. So he is the VP of Digital and Data Solutions from Zuellig Pharma. Daniel, you can do a quick introduction from yourself. Thank you.
Sure, thanks so much. My name is Daniel Laverick. I'm VP of Digital and Data for Zuellig Pharma. I'm here, honoured to be here today to really share the story of what we are doing in the pharma blockchain space. Maybe to kind of show to everybody that blockchain is not all crypto. There is other use cases, and really happy to be part of this panel and be able to share the story of Zuellig Pharma. Thanks.
Thank you, Daniel. So for Pinky, she will be joining in the panel discussion session, and she will be helping as the moderator later on. So just a quickly run through, we have the agenda for today. So first, we have the presentation from Derek Loy, followed by Richard Ng, that he will be talking about blockchain ecosystem and platform. And then last but not least, we have Daniel Laverick, who he will be presenting about case study from Easy Tracker and also blockchain application in pharmaceutical industries, and followed by a panel discussion that will be moderated by Pinky. And just a couple housekeeping rules. So please, for all audiences, mute your microphone when you are not speaking so people can listen to the sessions clearly. Also, if you have any questions, please kindly post it in the chat box, and we will be helping to answer the questions as well. And with all that, I can give the floor to Ibu Asih to do a quick introduction from ABI. Thank you, Bu.
Thank you, Darlene. I think I have a presentation. Can you please help share the screen? So I think I'm just going to greet everyone first. Derek Loy, Richard Ng, Daniel Laverick, Pinky Meiska, and all of our guests today. Welcome. I think before we deep dive into the main topic of the session, so please allow me to do a quick update on blockchain industry in Indonesia. Yep, I will share more about the association. I think this can capture the collective efforts of the Indonesian blockchain community that we've been doing together. So yeah, the association was established in 2017 by the very first 7 blockchain projects, and we were inaugurated on 2018 by the chairman of the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or KADIN. And at that time, crypto was a hype. We discussed with our trade ministry for quite some time. And on 2018, they issued a policy for crypto as a commodity that can be traded legally. And following on the policy on to 2019, under the Trade Ministry, the Commodity Futures Trading Authority, or COFTRA, or we call it BAPTI, issued a technical procedure of crypto trading, and it has been evolving this past couple of years because they want to make sure that the Indonesian market can remain competitive with the global market. And on the same year, we also did one of the biggest hackathons with one of the biggest banks in Southeast Asia, and attracted a lot of novice to master blockchain developers from Southeast Asia. So you can see that banks have been seeing blockchain not as a threat, but more as an opportunity for them to be an early adopter. And on 2020, thanks to the Indonesian Ministry of Communications and Informatics for issuing the Indonesia Standard Industrial Classification, or we call it KBLI, for blockchain projects. And that year was the first time we did our official annual conference, Indonesian Blockchain Conference 2020, that involved the regulators and industry players in one big forum. And we also did the IBC this year on last August, and we can see the interest were hugely growing. Early this year, we co-founded the ASEAN Blockchain Consortium. I think maybe some of you already are familiar with it, with 5 Southeast Asian nations plus Australia. And we also co-founded Blockchain Association Forum, which is more of a global scale. And these two institutions aim to engage with regulators to ensure legal compliance alongside raising industry awareness and educations. Also, the association was planning to have this blockchain council, principally as an ethics committee that will track on the development of the ecosystem. And until now, well, this is still something that ABI does. So we'll see if the urgency and opportunity show themselves probably on the next year. Next slide, please. So this is the Indonesian blockchain landscape. We update it every year. Back to when we established the association in 2017, there were only 7 blockchain projects. Now there are more than 60 working blockchain projects. There are many real working blockchain use cases for taxation, supply chain, financial services, gaming, crypto exchanges, of course, and so on. And recently, we were having a discussion with one of our ministries and planning to have a halal blockchain, basically for the halal certification process. We also have been discussing with the other policymakers regarding how they can actually regulate or facilitate the industry that has a very fast pace, and we're helping them with compiling the blockchain related policies from all around the world. Hopefully that can give a picture of the state blockchain on specific countries and how it can in fact contribute to the development of a country. So the cross-sector dialogues are something common now in Indonesia, and we have been pushing them to start implementing it and see the impact. So I think that's a quick update on the blockchain industry in Indonesia. Please enjoy the rest of the discussions, and back to you, Darlene.
Thank you, Biasi, for the introduction from Asosiasi Blockchain Indonesia. So next, we will have Derek from Ant Group, and he will be presenting about connecting the dots between 3 T's, tokenization, trust, and trade. The floor is all yours, Derek. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Darlene. Can all of you see my slides?
Yes, we can see it.
Awesome. So again, quick, just to say hi to those people who have just joined us. My name is Derek Loy, GM for International Business for Intelligent Technology, Ant Group. So today, I would love to actually just share some insights and perspective, from Ant Group with regards to how we are seeing the industry actually connecting the dots, right, between the 3 T's, tokenization, trust, and trade, right? There seems to be, taking the industry by storm. So I'll skip through the synopsis because I think let's jump straight to the discussion. You might want to, I usually would like to start off with a quick introduction of who is Ant, right? Ant is a financial technology services company that aims to create the infrastructure and platform to support the digital transformation of the service industry. We are known as the owner and operator of Alipay, right? One of the leading digital payment platforms worldwide. And at the same time, we have also recently introduced N-Chain Plus, which is all about using the trusted technology components to enable trust and connect business, right? So this is what I'll be sharing more a little bit today. Let's start off with first a quick overview of some of the use cases for N-Chain, right? But even before that, right, I think for me it's probably going to be preaching to the choir here, so to speak, in the sense that we all understand, some of the characteristics of blockchain with regards to immutability, decentralized, transparency. That's really make it very relevant for some of the industry use cases. Now, specifically for Ant, we have close to about 50 plus industry use cases that we have landed into real world customers, real world use cases, and this ranges from copyright protection, especially with regards to digital media, prints, digital art, brand protection, and end of the day, how it all comes together from policing to legal enforcement, right? So this is something which has seen a huge increase recently, especially since now more of us are consuming digital content from home, and therefore there's a need for a suitable monetization, right, and protection of all these IP assets, so that the creative owners or creators are motivated and monetized to actually continue to create new content for all of us to enjoy. All right, so this is even more relevant today. The other area that we are seeing a huge increase is in supply chain finance, and this is in combination with obviously the uptick in digital trade. As we see more of cross-border digital trade happening, this is obviously again accelerated by the pandemic, which has driven an online explosion of transactions, or what they call a explosion of transactions online. But more importantly, it is also due to the fact that this area, all right, of supply chain finance has also gotten a lot more mature, a lot more secure, which has given a lot more confidence, right, to the parties who are now transacting and trading across international borders. Now, last but not least, I also want to mention the fact that it has been helped by some of these free trade agreements, or what they call trade agreements, that have been signed. Take for example, RCEP, right, is starting in January of 2022. And is the world's largest trade agreement that has been signed in recent years, right? So that will definitely promote digital trade between ASEAN as well as China and many other countries in this region. Last but not least, from a trade finance point of view, it is also an area where we have seen a lot of uptake, especially regards to marketplace, establishing the data exchange between SMEs. So that again, it's all about enabling that ability to trade, and also with the corresponding assurance from a logistic, from a supply chain assurance perspective. Now, today I would like to dive a bit deeper into three areas, right, where we are coincidentally, they are all starting with T, right? So let's start off with tokenization. And for me, right, I want to emphasize the fact that it is about keeping it real. Because there has been a lot of discussions about whether there's a bubble, and for us, we have always been very focused on keeping it real. Now, but let's start off with an understanding of what is tokenization, right? And tokenization, as we understand it, is about how a actual contract in the real world, that is representing a claim or right to some goods and services, is now digitized, right, onto a smart contract, right? And this is then represented in the form of a token, right, in the blockchain world, right? So that's a very simplistic definition of tokenization. And as we all know, there are many, many types of tokens. There are tokens such as payment tokens, which we are there are payment tokens that we are most familiar with, such as Bitcoin, so on and so forth, which we are not going to talk about today. That's also an area which N Group does not participate in due to our financial regulations. But there are also, other use cases for tokens which have been overshadowed, right, by the cryptocurrency and the payment token. And those are the areas of security token, utility token, and governance token, right? And these are the areas which I would like to give some practical use case examples of where N has been enabling some of our customers. So moving on, let's start off with one example of token that has definitely caught the world by storm recently, and that is in the area of NFT. In Ant, we prefer to call it digital collectibles because we focus a lot more on the actual practical value of how it actually promotes a digital identity and ownership, for certain digital creatives, digital art. We focus less, in fact, and we discourage market trading and manipulation, which we feel is sometimes, not really reflecting the value of NFTs. So from a digital collectible perspective, this slide illustrates some of the capabilities that we have. where we work with our clients to convert some of their assets into NFTs, and in some cases we'll even create 3D renditions, which I hope the graphics will show here. Yeah, correct. So this is one of the earlier version. Obviously, we have evolved it further, but you can see this really helps to bring alive, right, some of this digital art, where there's a digital twin that's created, and that really helps to promote the and deepen, right, the exchange of cultural, and art culture and art exchange, between nations and even between art clusters. Now, just a matter of note is that, as you know, there'll be there'll be Asian Games in Hangzhou. They'll be happening in June of this year. And we actually created an NFT for the torch, which was literally sold out, right? Within a few hours, a few minutes after it was put on hold. And that again is a good example of how NFT can have a very wide range or wide coverage, but at the same time it is also it can be also put to good practical use, right? So 20,000 of the NFT that was issued for the 2022 Asian Games was sold out within a second, right, after being made available at our Alipay NFT platform at 12 p.m. on Thursday, September 16. In terms of NFT, there are a couple of options that we are seeing that's most relevant to a lot of our clients who have been wanting to get onto the bandwagon, but at the same time, they are very practical. They're looking at how they can make it a lot more sustainable. But so far, based on experience, what we are seeing is option one, where there are clients who look at creating an NFT marketplace that's based on Hyperledger Fabric. Then subsequently, once they have built up that marketplace, once they have gotten all the smart contract and all the minting capabilities in place, then they are looking at how they can set up a market, a transaction capability for that, right? And that is where it could be on Ethereum with lazy minting, and that's so important today because of the gas fee. Next would be, another option, which is to build a sidechain, a layer 2 sidechain that's bridgeable to Ethereum with 0K rollup, so as to ensure the right security, right? So this is, an example, right, of the scope of work that we're seeing from a lot of the enterprise customers who are hoping to jump onto the NFT bandwagon, but not so much for, just pure market, speculation. These are for practical use cases where it's about, trying to promote or enable, right, a virtual go-to-market for some of their assets, all right, or some of their products and services. So that was a quick overview of what we do for one of the types of utility token, which is NFT, digital collectibles. Another example for utility token is with regards to omni-channel downstream monetization. And this is something that we do with one of our partners called Verofax, where, just for fictitious example's sake, Asahi, is one of the beverages, that is known. Again, like I stressed, this is just an example. But, in this case, Asahi might want to actually create a engine or mechanism to better, engage with their consumers after a certain promotion, where they would like to also give assurance to their consumers that the beer is fresh and coming from a certain location and is arriving within a certain number of days. This is where, with the right token that's created, we are able to integrate it into a wallet and a mobile app. And this allows for consumer engagement, which is so important, especially with regards to, some experiential promotion, discount at certain outlets. There could also be gamification that's introduced. On top of that, like I mentioned earlier, for certain FMCG, is also to give customers the assurance that this particular beverage or food item has been shipped or has been is actually coming from a certain source, right? So this is the logistic interaction that we're talking about. And last but not least, obviously, is about increasing the interaction, the possibles, the tracking of the sales, and how do you actually have that omni-channel consumer engagement after that first encounter, right, or the first contact. So this is where we do see a more practical use case for utility tokens, that we are engaging with some of our customers. So those are just quick examples, that I wanted to share. Next, let me talk a bit more about trust, right, which is the second T. And trust, in my view, is actually the currency of the new digital economy, much more than data, right? Data, we have reached a stage, in our industry evolution where there's a lot of data online or even from our daily transaction. It is about now how we actually extract the right insights from this data so that we are able to gain trust and therefore choose to work with a certain party, right? So that is actually how we see now the digital economy evolving, with trust as the currency of this new digital economy. And what better way to start than to talk about some recent incidents where, for example, Cream Finance, they actually experienced their third security incident where they have again had quite a bit of currency, cryptocurrency that's stolen from their wallets, right? So that has obviously affected their share price. At the same time, the other recent incident is Poly Network, right, where they have lost close to about 600 million, due to a flaw, right, within the cross chain re-entry. And they actually reach out to their consumer base, right, or to their community, and they managed to recover half of that, right? So that is really interesting. One of the findings from this was the fact that a lot of the money, or half the money, was returned because why it's unknown exactly who the parties are who actually managed to get this close to 600 million that is accidentally put into their wallets. But at the same time, it is known that if they do make any subsequent transactions, that can be tracked, right? So that is why half of that was actually returned, right? So that those are two incidents which really does still give us some room to consider, right, on what else and how else can we improve in terms of the various tokenization capabilities that we have today. Now, in this regard, right, I think, for us, we therefore focus a lot on the smart contract and the audit of smart contract. We have identified 4 areas that poses a concern. Of no doubt, first will be definitely the code itself, right? So the code security, the vulnerability, especially with regards to integer overflow, which results in the risk of unauthorized coins. Next will be the logic vulnerability, right? An example with the balancer and how that actually resets and causes some black track. Third will be business vulnerability, the logic itself, the business logic itself. And this would be a very good example would be how an attack could be caused by a unit price calculation of the LP. The last will be the cross-chain vulnerability, which is what was identified as one of the key challenges for sorry, the sharing got stopped. Let me just resume the sharing. Yep. Okay, and the last will be the cross-chain security, and this is evolving around how there could be a re-entry due to a vulnerability in the ERC 777, right? So this is what was identified as one of the main culprit in the previous 2 security incidents that I mentioned. So these are the 4 areas, that we actually do smart contract audits around. And the angle that we take around such smart contract analysis is a multi-angle approach. So obviously there will be a formal verification via a business logic validation. After that, we'll do a fuzzy test, especially with regards to identifying unknown incremental vulnerability scans. And then last but not least, a static analysis, right, of the known vulnerability types. So that's this second area, which is the second T, which is trust. Then next, how do we all bring it together, right? With the right trust, with the right tokenization, how do we enable trade? And to us, right? Therefore, with the right tokenization and trust, it empowers digital trade, which then connects B2B to C. And this is where Anne has also made a lot of progress, right, in terms of building a global blockchain transmission network that connects up, multiple banks across the world, the multiple banks and wallets such as DBS in Singapore. We have Krungsri Bank in Thailand, BBVA in Spain, and we have worked with them to then avail a payment as well as a settlement platform known as Trustable, right? TRUSPLE, Trustable, that actually automates the entire BPU process between the buyer and seller. Now, this typical process, where a buyer and seller identify and connects with each other and finally make a settlement or payment, for some certain goods and services, would usually take easily 4 to 6 weeks, as they have to bring in the right banks in order to provide the letter of credit, to actually to secure the payment, right? So that is typically what happens in the past, but currently with Trustable, it actually allows for such transactions to be completed in a matter of few days. And this also avails some of the partner capabilities from our bank and our shipping partners that enables the tracking, right, and the ability to actually match the payment against the shipment milestones. Another area that we have connected the dots to really promote digital trade is around copyright protection, right? And I'm going to skip over, what typically about copyright protection with regards to digital media, because I think that's pretty well known. But an area which we are really proud of recently that we have launched is whereby, this, is also about the protection of NFTs and IP digital assets, right? So can you imagine if there's a certain digital asset that's created by you and me, right? And we decide to, NFT it, we decide to mint it. But at the same time, there's a huge potential commercialization where a certain hat manufacturer or a certain t-shirt manufacturer would love to actually, commercialize your digital asset, a certain logo or a certain digital art that you have created onto, t-shirts, hats that they can sell on a certain e-commerce platform, right? So that itself, as a source or stream of monetization, a downstream source of monetization, is what we have enabled with one of our recent capabilities called 雀巢, right? Which is built upon N-chain. And this really helps to automate the entire protection of that IP asset, the digital asset, enabling a merchant to be able to monetize it, either via t-shirts, hats, various other means. And then, to also automate the distribution or the revenue share, right, of each, purchase of that t-shirt or hat upstream, so that, it is real time. And this really, A, is fair, right? B, it is, it doesn't involve upfront payment, to the licensee owner. So it actually lowers the barrier of entry for, a lot more participants to jump onto this bandwagon and ensure IP copyright protection. And last but not least, it really offers another avenue of monetization for NFT and a lot of the digital assets that are being created, right? So this is something which we are very proud of because, again, for Ant Group, we are more focused on the real world use cases for NFTs, and we believe this is one of them, rather than to just offer it up for trading and for market speculation. So we are opposed to that. The other area that I think is so this slide actually explains what I've just mentioned earlier. All right. So with Qiecao, is an end-to-end copyright protection that's built on blockchain. It connects between the seller and the buyer. All right, and it brings in obviously the protection and management of the IP assets. It automates the commercialization, right, especially in terms of the revenue distribution. And last but not least, with the right e-commerce platform, it also allows for the merchandising, the product management, and the right operation tools to monitor the end-to-end, sales and delivery, right, of such goods that are created from the IP assets, right. So this is again, something which really, allows us to now have that transparency, and this is most importantly, right, it lowers the barrier entry for commercialization. So I just want to end off this slide. I know there's a lot to talk about today, and I've tried to keep it very focused on the 3 T's, right? Tokenization, trust, as well as trade, and given you some practical use cases that we are working with our customers. But at the end of the day, it's all about trust, right? It's all about enabling trust and connecting business. So at this moment, we have a daily volume of close to about 100 million digital assets that's uploaded and updated on our chains, on our ledgers globally. As I've mentioned, we have landed about 50 use cases, including some that I've shown you earlier, and continue to do so to innovate with our customers. And we are also very proud of the fact that we are leading the world, right, in terms of the number of patents that we have filed around blockchain. So currently it's about close to about 2,200 plus and growing, right? And we are leading the world in terms of the number of patents. We have also been recognized by IDC, by Gartner, by Forbes, to be among the world tops blockchain company based on industry use cases. And we continue to align to various industry standards, right? We should always, firmly believe as the best way to also ensure global consistency. So that's all I wanted to share today. I know it's a bit fast, but happy to take any questions later on. Back to you, Darlene.
Thank you, Derek, for the sharing today. So we were able to understand on the 3 T's that are shaping the digital economy today, as well as the 3 key trends in trust, tokenization, and digital trade. And also we were able to understand on blockchain-based copyright, as well as IP trading platform from Ant Group. So next session, we will be having Richard Ng from Pundi X Labs, and he will be presenting about blockchain ecosystem and platform. The floor is all yours, Richard. Thank you.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so hi, I'm Richard. So today I'll be running you through how the blockchain ecosystem works, from governance, participation to borderless payment and to decentralized financial services. So blockchain is really redefining trust as we know it. So trust in this world right now is, I would say, is a very elusive term. Everyone wants it, but no one can really have it. And blockchain actually answers quite a bit of questions with regards to trust. So this is the current state of our financial ecosystem right now. Let's say I want to send money across the world. Okay, so let's say Bob resides in Singapore while Alice resides in maybe Africa. So if Bob wants to send $100 to Alice, he has to go through bank A, maybe a local bank A, and then goes to intermediary bank A, and finally goes to maybe global bank B, and finally reaches, the local bank in Africa where Alice resides in. So for those of you who have done any kind of cross-border payment, the issue with this. So it really kind of highlights the inefficiencies of the system. And maybe after all the transaction fees have been incurred, the $100 will only be $50 that's left. So our whole financial system is only a system of ledger. And then when sending money is just, an entry into that ledger. So this begs the question on which ledger do you trust, right? So in 2008 financial crisis, right? For those of you who are unaware, like Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns, all these big banks, they always say too big to fail, right? So what they do behind the scene is that, because the housing prices were going up and they were issuing out loans even to subprime borrowers. So we don't really know which ledger to trust. And even now with the Evergrande issue or Evergrande event in China, we don't really, with such huge real estate companies or with such huge financial institutions, we don't know who to trust. Right? So that brings us to the point of decentralization. So in blockchain, everyone talks about this. There's a couple of characteristics, but one of them is decentralization. So essentially, each member has an exact same copy of this distributed ledger for complete transparency, especially if you're either a full node or validator node. So this ensures that the entire system will not break down upon a single point of failure. So in the current financial system, let's say I want to go to Bank A and I want to withdraw $5, right? So this Bank A will hold this ledger and he'll check the balance, say I have $100. So I'm able to withdraw $5. But if I go to Bank B, who doesn't share this ledger, okay, I wouldn't be able to withdraw that $5. Right? So in this blockchain ecosystem, right, if let's say there are 100 nodes, all fully synced up to the latest state of the blockchain, I can instead, go to each one of the node, let's say node A or node B, and just ask whether I can withdraw $5 instead. And, everyone will have a copy of my balance saying that I'm able to withdraw $100. So that kind of allows, or emphasizes or enforces decentralization in our ecosystem. And also any data once written on the blockchain cannot be changed or removed. So this really enforces, immutability. So it enables record keeping in different fields like court records, university degree records, digital voting even. And, that makes it impossible to forge records. So I know in some countries, you can actually walk down the street, the night market, and you can actually ask people to help you forge university degrees. And, you can probably land a very good job using that. So blockchain actually helps in this kind of areas where, it's quite impossible to forge records. So one example would be OpenCert, which is a Singapore-based government-funded project. Now moving on to peer-to-peer. So the idea or the concept of blockchain allows interaction between two parties to be accomplished without the need of any third party. So if going back to the previous example about doing cross-border payment, right? And just giving a new example, like when Bob now goes to Alice's outlet to buy, say, merchandise or clothes, right? So the moment he taps his credit card on the card reader, in the back end, there's this transaction that happens with the bank, and it requires a third party to clear off any kind of transaction before Alice receives her money. So in our blockchain ecosystem, actually, we do away with the third party and the middleman. So because of this trustless system, we are able to facilitate this kind of peer-to-peer transaction, and that really expedites cross-border transactions and remove the need for any trust in the system. So what we do in PundiX is that we provide blockchain solutions and services for companies which are exploring to implement blockchain technology for reducing overhead costs, increasing collaboration with partners, and to drive greater business efficiencies. So some of our current solutions, I would break it down into two major components. One I would say is more towards the hardware and end-to-end payment solution, as well as a decentralized data service solution, which I'll touch on later, as well as the software kind of the business, which is FunctionX or FX Core, which allows for more decentralized data on the internet and providing a safe and secure automated environment to operate in. So more about FunctionX. Basically, it bridged the traditional and decentralized markets. That's our main aim. So we are mirroring traditional financial products like, your market makers, a digital exchange, or even things like new products like dApps, decentralized applications or NFTs, right? And all this will be built on FunctionX. So one of our value proposition for FunctionX or FX Core is that, take for example, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's main value proposition is that it solves the payment issue. Okay, other than payment, you can't really do anything in the blockchain, in the Bitcoin network. All right, then slowly after 2-3 years, Ethereum came up, and Ethereum came up with the idea of smart contracts. So, you can deploy decentralized apps. And as you might know, the latest boom, NFTs, right? Paris Hilton having her own brand of NFTs. So I'll liken all these blockchains to have their own major use cases. And where does FX Core or where does FunctionX stand in all of this is that taking an analogy, for example, right? Bitcoin, I would like to liken it to a zoo, okay? So Bitcoin is like the lion enclosure, and Ethereum is like your giraffe enclosure. So if you go to the zoo, you want to see a variety of animals. You don't want to just don't want to see just lions, or you don't want to see just giraffes. So FunctionX is, take it as the zoo, is a hub that allows all the different blockchains to connect to it. All right. And with cross-chain mechanism and cross-chain validation, this allows it to be possible. So just elaborating on that as well. So FX Core is our proprietary blockchain hub or blockchain network. And we implemented a cross-chain bridge as well as a multi-chain structure. So not going too much into details, but how this works is that, any chain that's connected to this FX Core hub, it will allow easy transaction. For example, if I want to send money from the Ethereum network all the way to the Bitcoin network, if both chains are linked up to our FX Core, that would be very easy. Okay, so that involves, burning or locking tokens on one end and minting them on the other. And then, there's cross-chain validation to make sure that this transaction is correct. Okay, and we are actually built on a proof of stake consensus model. So, the newer generations of blockchains are predominantly proof of stake, so Cardano, Solana, and the older generations of blockchain like Ethereum 1.0 and Bitcoin, they're mainly using proof of work. So proof of work is very highly energy intensive, right? That's why you have people like Elon Musk saying that Bitcoin mining is turning the environment into a very bad place, right? And like the whole point of proof of stake now is that we have a much lower barrier to entry in terms of hardware requirement. You don't need like servers or ASICs or GPUs to mine or to be part of the network. Okay, so this really also helps with cloud solutions as well, like Alibaba. So some of the solutions that we've employed or deployed also uses Ali Cloud. So some of the validators that we have are based on a cloud instance. So moving on to decentralized government, validators and delegators on FunctionX blockchain or FX Core can vote on any proposals that can change parameters or use the fund for, let's say, to build an NFT marketplace, right? And to also coordinate upgrades. So some of you might know, like when you attend an annual general meeting of a company, right? People go there, every once in a year to listen to the board of directors speaking, about in boring terms about what they're going to do next, or pushing or motioning for a proposal. And then, finally you get to vote for it. Some people just go there to have free food. I know some people who do. And, in our case, decentralized government, as long as, you have enough money, you can actually push for a proposal. You can send, or you can broadcast the proposal out to the entire network, and everyone can vote on it. So you don't have to wait 1 year. Okay, you can do it from the comfort of your home, or even while you're driving. You can just propose like a new governance proposal, and then you can even vote on it. So that really changes the entire landscape of how we think about governance. So FX Core network right now, we can process up to 20,000 transactions per block, and the average block time is about 5 seconds. And right now, because we are kind of a new chain, or very new chain actually, the transactions that have already processed are 160,000. All right, so this number is actually just going to look like it's just going to grow at an exponential rate. So the other arm of our business is the hardware business, which includes like the Xpos, your X Wallet, and your XPass. So when you go to a merchant outlet, right, you have a POS system, and then you tap your credit card and the transaction goes through. So instead, we have this solution that called the Xpos. So merchants will hold this, and the X Wallet and XPass, they all their user interface where users can use them and store their cryptocurrency. So the catch is that in this entire ecosystem, we won't be using fiat for any kind of payment. Okay, we'll be using cryptocurrencies. So this really opens up the gateway to the real world, because right now, especially, everyone talks about the metaverse. Everyone lives in a world of gaming, coming up with NFTs. No one really thinks about crypto as a form of payment or exchange of goods. So a lot of economists believe that crypto doesn't have financial value outside of the digital world. So I think this whole entire ecosystem of Xpos, X Wallet, and XPass using crypto to actually exchange for goods and services in the real world really answers that question. Okay, that crypto actually has a real value, and right now we are the market leader in this. So So who are we looking for to grow FX or our company? We are looking for partners, in enterprises, NGOs, governments, FIs, infrastructure service providers, as well as developers and startups. And I think I have quite a bit of time, or a little bit of time left. So right now I'll be doing a live demo and how, I'll be using a FX Core CLI client command line interface. So this command line interface is spun up using an instance with Ali Cloud. And also I'll be using the FX wallet. So you won't be able to see my interaction with this, but later I can show you how to download and maybe take a look at it. And also I'll be using the FunctionX Explorer to really track my transactions. Okay. So let me just, okay, so this is my Teams webpage. And also just a bit of background as well. Like if you search into community, the forum and Discord as well, these two social media outlets are actually also running on a Ali Cloud instance. So I mean, just to show you that, within the blockchain network, cloud services are very important as well. Okay, so we are going to interact with the Explorer. So this is like a blockchain explorer. And if you want to, let's just jump over to validators and we'll just take a look. So right now we have a few public validators that have been spun up. And we also have some institutions that have joined us, like European University Cyprus and also ABI. They are one of the key speakers today as well. So right now, I'll be actually sending a real transaction using real money to this instance. So this instance, as you can see, Alibaba Cloud, right? So this is based in Virginia in US. So, I mean, based on demo purposes, just take it that, I'll be sending real money from Singapore to US. All right. So, all right. I'll be interacting with the FX wallet right now, and we should be able to see the transaction on this screen, on this blockchain explorer. Let's just click into transactions. Okay, give me 1 minute. 19. Okay, so I've just used the FX wallet to actually send a transaction using across, using the blockchain technology. And yes, you can see a new transaction has just appeared. All right, so I've just actually sent 5 FX across the globe from Singapore to Virginia. So right now I'll be using the client interface to send back I'll send back 4 FX to my wallet. Okay, so right now I'll be using a hardware wallet. And I'll be logging in. Okay, so I've already logged in and I'll be sending the money, all right, back to FX14P. Okay, so this is my wallet address. Okay, just added layer of security. Okay, and then I'll be signing the transaction using, okay, hold on. Okay, so I'll be signing the transaction using my hardware wallet because it's more secure to save any kind of money or cryptocurrency in a wallet that's not connected to the internet. Okay, so I'll just sign the transaction and you can see the transaction actually went through. So just wait for a moment and I'll be able to see right here. I just sent 4 FX from Virginia back to Singapore. So this really shows, cross-border payment. We can just look into the this amount. Yeah, and we can just see the transaction fee is 0.3. So right now, it costs about 30 cents to do a cross-border payment across the world. So you can really see how blockchain is redefining the way borderless payment is done. All right, so I think that's it for my demo today. I'll pass the time back to you.
Sure. Thank you, Richard, for a very insightful, and also we were able to learn about the Easy Tracker, for the blockchain ecosystem and platform, as well as the demo. And next, we will be having Daniel Laverick from Zulik Pharma, and he will be talking about the Easy Tracker and blockchain application in pharmaceutical industry. And just a quick reminder, everyone, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat box. So the speakers will be able to help answer the questions as well. Thank you. The floor is all yours, Daniel.
Thank you so much. Allow me to share my screen. Wait a second. Okay. Please let me know when you can see it. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Is that okay?
Yes, I think
okay.
it's yeah.
Okay, cool. So before I jump in, I'll start with a very quick video. I think it's just a minute or so long, just to set the scene of what we actually are doing. So,
built by Zulik Pharma, an award-winning distributor in Asia, Easy Tracker is an end-to-end blockchain solution that improves pharma supply chain connectivity and traceability for patient safety. Easy Tracker helps pharma manufacturers, healthcare professionals, and patients via an increase in security and compliance, greater transparency and scalability through these 4 areas. Secure data management with clear chain of custody, ease of verifying product authenticity, and reporting incidents. Ensure optimal temperatures for vaccines by accessing secure and accurate temperature reports with quality assurances. Track, trace, and obtain reports of potential gray market products, which can hurt patient safety and brand trust. Process payments effectively and enjoy hassle-free auto-replenishment as you track and rectify product returns and expired products. Achieve operational excellence with Easy Tracker today. Visit easytracker.io or download the Easy Tracker app on the Google Play Store or App Store.
Cool, thanks. So just as a recap, my name is Daniel Laverick. I'm the Vice President of Digital and Data Solutions at Zulik Pharma. I'd just like to thank Alibaba Cloud and the Blockchain Association of Indonesia for giving us the chance to share more about blockchain in pharma. And as we've just heard, I think today most people believe or maybe have an awareness that blockchain is solely related to fintech or cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. However, blockchain can be applied across many industries, including the pharmaceutical industry. And today I'll be sharing more about our efforts to combat existing pharma challenges and also the benefits blockchain brings to pharma and healthcare partners. Before I jump into what we've been doing, really just a very quick couple of slides on who Zulik Pharma are. So we're one of the largest healthcare services groups in Asia. We provide world-class distribution, digital commercial services, and really to support the growing healthcare needs in the region with a mission of making healthcare more accessible. Quite a traditional company, started 100 years ago. But today we stand at a company that's around about $13 billion in revenue, and we have more than 12,000 employees based solely in Asia, and we're a privately held company, family-owned company. Across Asia, Zulik Pharma is really committed to corporate excellence and sustainability. We've won a number of awards around warehousing and distribution, as well as things like platinum medal by EcoVadis around sustainability. And so at Zulik Pharma, we're continuously finding ways to improve health outcomes, and really how can we look at caring for the environment and setting really high standards for product quality and integrity. And as you can see, as the leading distributor in the region, we have a huge kind of reach and touch points. We serve over 60,000 medical facilities. We cover more than 500 cities across Indonesia. And we're the trusted distributor serving over 50 clients, and that's including the top 10 pharma manufacturers in the world. And we continue to focus on building a robust supply chain with our distribution excellence and experience. But really, how does this all kind of fit together with the whole blockchain story? And so beyond being one of the top distributors, we really are looking to build an integrated ecosystem that drives great value for our patients and our clients. And this is from pharmaceutical clients through to patients, and really driving value at every touch point through first strengthening our distribution channels and then investing in our digital and data solutions. So really, what do we see as a challenge in the pharma industry? You know, in 2020, the global pharmaceutical market was valued at more than $400 billion. This billion-dollar or multi-billion-dollar industry is really drawing the attention of counterfeiters looking to flip the market. Other challenges that we've seen include operational inefficiencies, which obviously then have a direct impact or threaten patient safety and has an impact on pharma revenue. So the first challenge in the pharma industry obviously threats to patients' safety. And obviously one of the key threats that we see, especially in this Asia, in this area, in this markets in Asia, is really around grey market trade of counterfeit medicines. The World Health Organization revealed that 1 in 10 medicines in developing countries have been identified as either falsified or substandard, and that is just that's just scratching the surface. They think it could be as high as 3 in 10 actually, but we just don't know. There's no way of knowing what's actually out there. And then furthermore, the Pharmaceutical Security Institute found that in 2020 alone, there was an increase of more than 23% in the types of medicine across therapeutic categories that were being counterfeited. And besides counterfeit medicines, obviously substandard medicines also pose a threat. IATA has reported in 2020 that 1 in 4 medicines or vaccines are degraded due to cold chain efficiencies. And not just degraded, there's up to 50% of vaccines are actually wasted due to poor storage conditions. And if any of these medicines are taken or administered, obviously the consequences to patient safety are unthinkable. Then the second challenge in the industry is obviously a loss of revenue for pharma. Counterfeit drugs are really hurting pharmaceutical companies around the region. In Southeast Asia alone, pharma companies have suffered losses of more than 2.3 billion in 2020. And close to home in Indonesia, the Indonesian Anti-Counterfeit Society have reported losses of around $500 million in revenue due to counterfeit medicines in 2020 alone. And for improper storage of temperature-sensitive products, the number is just huge. You know, the pharma industry is now suffering in excess of $35 billion globally in losses due to temperature excursions of products that makes them basically useless and can't be administered. So besides counterfeits and cold chain inefficiencies, the other challenges that we see are around data integration among supply chain stakeholders. As currently, there's no one trustworthy platform or solution that links the various systems along the supply chain, and stakeholders work in different legs or silos, and there's a distinct lack of collaboration. Information is captured at each stage, but not shared to other parties, and there's obviously a willingness and a data ownership and kind of all questions around what would happen if I was to hand my data over to somebody else. And second, due to the lack of trust and traceability, patients, healthcare practitioners, and authorities are really starting to demand a greater quality assurance. But without a connected and integrated system, it's virtually impossible to be able to assure the quality of goods. For example, counterfeits can slip in through gaps in the supply chain and penetrate the market undetected due to the lack of vigilance. One of the other challenges of the pharmaceutical industry is the lack of analytical insights. Without an interoperable system, pharma leaders struggle to accurately identify and address operational inefficiencies and gaps in the supply chain, which could open up their business to greater risks and even revenue losses. So really, what did we do at Zuli Pharma? We were really determined to find a solution to combat these challenges. And to do so, we obviously needed a trustworthy solution that made product traceability possible from farmer to patient or from plant to patient. This solution is a must. And first, really, how could we have one true source of data to improve data visibility and material traceability? A reliable data source that allow manufacturers, healthcare practitioners, and patients to access and rely on the data with confidence. Next, the solution must obviously be data compliant, as valuable business or personal data will be exchanged to enable traceability. So there must be a secure way or secure data management to build trust. And lastly, the solution must be able to provide useful and insightful analytics for pharma manufacturers to help them to be able to tackle their operational inefficiencies. You know, having a consolidated dashboard it really could help leaders to identify critical information and to be able to pinpoint the discovery of grey market products and potential counterfeits into the market. So true to Zuli Pharma's mission, we wanted to use blockchain as a solution that would make safe healthcare more accessible. As I mentioned, with 1 in 10 medicines being counterfeited and millions of dollars in revenue being lost by pharma manufacturers each year, really our solution is an end-to-end blockchain solution that we named Easy Tracker. This provides instantaneous material traceability to combat this growing threat. The solution so far has been rolled out in our key Asian markets. We're now live in Hong Kong, Thailand, Korea, and Malaysia. And our team has worked closely with pharma leaders to really address these unique challenges. And in our efforts to engage patients and build brand trust, we've got a very simple mobile app that serves as a product information verification tool. And the Easy Tracker mobile now has more than 30,000 active users, and it's been used approximately 130,000 times to do product scans. So really, using blockchain, what we've been able to do is that all 4 legs in the supply chain can now be connected. And what we've been able to achieve is to really transform the ecosystem from individual silos to a connected, near real-time solution with end-to-end product traceability. Easy Tracker can integrate with systems seamlessly, and it obviously gives stakeholders access to information with ease to allow them to kind of look at these operational operational excellence, and maybe target some of the operational inefficiencies. So how have we been able to really address the challenges? And so with blockchain at the core and underpinning the solution, Easy Tracker's various applications have been able to benefit the pharmaceutical industry. Firstly, we started this, and it was really to address the challenge of counterfeits. The blockchain ledger enables us to track and trace and verify products throughout the supply chain, and really to create confidence that products are quality assured. Easy Tracker also tracks grey markets and grey market imports to reduce revenue loss and really strengthen brand trust with local regulations. Second, to try and target or tackle the suboptimal storage conditions of drugs, we've now integrated blockchain with temperature loggers, so starting to take the solution one step further and capture IoT data in the supply chain. And pharma databases really have to improve the visibility of products in the cold chain. So now all stakeholders can now verify products, storage and delivery, temperature conditions for quality assurance, as well as being able to verify the authenticity of the product. Thirdly, we apply blockchain to improve operational efficiencies in clinics. The solution itself, it really helps monitor inventory, demand, and automate the replenishment process for clinics. This minimizes out of stock medicines and really saves time and resources without having to have the whole manual effort of having to resubmit an order because you see that the stock is low or stock is actually being used and you don't have anything left. And lastly, to make product information more accessible for patient education, Easy Tracker enables a switch of product information leaflets from paper to digital. And so this is something that we're now working on with, certainly it's something we're looking at in Singapore. So really, how do we replace the paper leaflet inserts that you see inside a packet of a product or a pharma drug product, replacing it with a blockchain-based solution where you can scan the code and then look at this online. This is both obviously from a sustainability perspective. This would be huge if we can make steps into this area, because the wastage that we see from the paper leaflets is quite considerable. So really, the key features can be, or the four key features can be customized for pharma companies, and really unlock value for the pharma leaders. Firstly, as an alternative to building an in-house team, which can be costly and time-consuming, pharma companies can rely on EasyTracker for support and focus on strategic initiatives instead, and obviously that gives them peace of mind, and it helps pharma leaders optimize resources at a lower cost. Secondly, EasyTracker unlocks innovation for the pharma companies. It gives access, gives secure and seamless access to data management through the blockchain and cloud. And they can now access analytics easily and rely on trusted system that's been deployed in multiple regions across Asia. So often we get asked, really, for EasyTracker, why was blockchain chosen? And I think we've been to it in the previous presentations as well. But there was 5 core reasons, or 5 main reasons why we looked at blockchain for the solution. Obviously, first, blockchain ledger technology really ensures high data integrity, security, and compliance. And in the pharma industry, this is obviously quite crucial. A universal view of information from a single source really helps us to build trust within all the stakeholders. And to protect business data, obviously only those authorized in the business are allowed access to sensitive data in the ledger. If we're looking at personal data from clinics and patients, we are also able to securely store this, encrypt it, and it's stored in accordance with local regulations. Second, the blockchain infrastructure builds trust and integrity to achieve end-to-end traceability with trustworthy data. Blockchain ensures that the data cannot be easily altered or deleted, so all transactions are captured within the blockchain network, and obviously they are secure, authenticated, and verifiable. And as we start to kind of move on through this journey, the other benefits around scalability, transparency, and accountability, they all start to come into play as we see the adoption start to grow on the network that we're building. So really, what is EasyTracker, and how does the solution kind of all fit together? And so the first component is the EasyTracker blockchain network. And this is the core of our solution. EasyTracker blockchain enables non-intrusive data exchange, real-time traceability, and data security. And from our blockchain, pharmaceutical manufacturers can benefit from EasyTracker digital IDs, which is really serialization information, which is entered onto the blockchain, and it's tagged to each product and their operations activities, and the data points in the supply chain journey. Pharma manufacturers can also benefit from the third solution component, which is EasyTracker operations. And what this does is it really allows us to integrate various warehouse systems like SAP and JDA to our blockchain and provide predefined operational processes for seamless adoption. Fourth component is all around the data analytics, or EasyTracker's analytics. And this is where leaders can use our proprietary dashboards to extract and analyze the data tagged to each unique item. And for healthcare practitioners, our fifth component is really what we call EasyTracker connectors. And this allows you to integrate seamlessly or very easily with clinics and hospital systems to tag dispensing activities to each product. And finally, there's obviously a very real need there to protect our patients. So EasyTracker mobile app empowers them to verify if their medicine is from an authorized source, and it's in the right place, and then to report fakes as and when they are detected. So really, to make traceability possible in the supply chain, EasyTracker had to design a blockchain infrastructure that allows for seamless and secure data transfers. And so what we see now is that different manufacturers have their own data management systems. And so in order to obtain the data and upload it into the EasyTracker blockchain, we can easily use an extract, transform, and load, or ETL system, as well as API is also a convenient way to be able to interface or upload data securely onto the blockchain. Once blockchain receives the data, it will perform a smart contract verification, and then we update the data to the ledger. And this makes sure that the data is accurately captured, securely shared to all the partners in the blockchain network, and that allows us to really be able to facilitate this end-to-end product traceability. To easily and quickly bring up a blockchain node for participants is with a cost-efficient manner. Cloud computing is obviously the best solution for this, and a cloud-native infrastructure together with all the elastic services really offers us flexibility, scalability, and the security aspect that we're looking for. So one cloud solution that we're working with right now is obviously Alibaba Cloud, and through Alibaba Cloud DataWorks and the API, large data files can be transferred with high stability and reliability. DataWorks also offers control over data permissions and security management. Obviously, Alibaba's cloud container services for Kubernetes offers high performance management services, and really, obviously, enterprise level containerized applications. And this makes it suitable for integration with EasyTracker. So the data can now easily flow from warehouse systems into the blockchain. And lastly, as the data flows to various stakeholders via nodes, key data like expiry dates and temperature data are stored in the blockchain ledger, while master data and metadata are stored in affordable and trustworthy off-ledger databases like Alibaba's Polar DB. Clients can now trust that the data is visible and it's uninterrupted, untampered, and obviously we then get into the point where we're making full traceability possible. So across Asia, EasyTracker has been used to improve operational efficiencies and to combat counterfeits. And here's a few of the kind of the case studies of where we are live. This is not a kind of a pilot or proof of concept. It's live. It's being used in all the markets that we're currently live in. So in Hong Kong, we're part of a tripartite with a pharma client, manufacturer, and a clinic management system. And this collaboration involves automating inventory, reordering processes, and then really looking at and analyzing patient behavior. In Korea, EasyTracker, we collaborated there with the pharma principal, as we call them, or manufacturer, to explore using temperature traceability to improve operational efficiencies. And we designed a solution which really tracks products via serialized information, and we're tagging the temperature and logistics information across the chain, cold chain. And this really is essential to making traceability possible from the warehouse to the cold room, and ensuring that things like vaccines and certainly things like COVID vaccines are transported in the right temperature conditions. And finally, in Thailand, we are helping a beauty injectable manufacturer deliver greater quality assurance by educating customers on how best to verify that the injectables that they are about to take are authentic or not. Each one of these is really been to kind of address a very pressing need in the market, where we've seen counterfeits kind of flooding the market and causing really some kind of very, very terrible results. So with the blockchain, with the use of blockchain really connecting pharma to patients, we can now organize and present captured data on dashboards for the pharma leaders. And really, these dashboards, they can be customized to the needs of the business and to help best serve their needs. The reliability of the data, pharma leaders can now make decisions with greater confidence and better understand the needs within their supply chain. and this previously was just not, we were just not able to do it because the data was obviously kept or stored in these silos, and having this blockchain network has now enabled us to break down those silos. And so really some of the benefits our clients have seen from access to the dashboards really include material traceability through charts, tables, graphs, or whatever we can give them there. And first, they're able to monitor their operations and access an overview of the warehouse activities. The dashboard really provides warehouse managers the ability to gain more in-depth insights through the data monitoring in real time. And so the products and how they're being dispatched and the status along the supply chain. And that from there, you can then start to obviously identify any efficiencies. You can work with your clients to advise them if there's going to be any disruptions to the ETA of the delivery. Second, obviously, farm leaders can now view their product journey. So by serializing the products that pass through Easy Tracker, we really now allow a close monitoring of the products in the warehouse down to the individual pack level. So clients can now access the captured data, product data, and really have a visibility from plant to patient at a very granular level. And obviously this improves data transparency, builds trust in the product, and clients can also monitor products closely, flag those that are potential counterfeits in the respective markets, even to the extent that if there's a product recall, we can obviously do very targeted alerts to those individuals who've had the products dispatched to them. And obviously, besides material traceability, really farm leaders can also benefit from detailed product analysis. This data allows clients to better understand user behavior by analyzing geolocation and times of interaction between the products and the users. Clients can observe where the products are, where they're being consumed, and how better to target those markets. The data also empowers farmer manufacturers by providing them the right tools and data in their investigation efforts. So geolocation mapping and flagging suspicious scan behavior, some of the key intelligence of Easy Tracker that we provide to authorities and their teams. And really this helps to protect the product integrity, brand trust, and ultimately the revenue. And the reason that we really kind of started this entire journey is really to be able to empower patients and healthcare practitioners. And so we have a very simple, user-friendly mobile app available on all the stores for instant verification of the product source and the storage conditions. Through a scan, verification is made easy as data is quickly extracted from the blockchain. First, the patient can track and trace and track a registered product and the source. And second, users are notified if a product's distribution source is not recognized by Easy Tracker or it's not found on the blockchain. And this really is to help identify potential counterfeits and then allow a channel for users to be able to report such incidents through the app. And lastly, for temperature-sensitive products, the users can verify the product storage conditions. And so the Easy Tracker blockchain will capture the scans, their location, and with this, it helps us to really work with our clients to better understand patient behavior and how they're interacting with the products. And finally, I'm just going to end with a very quick video so you can see the mobile application in action. So this was about 30 seconds.
As we navigate ongoing concerns about global health, how can we be assured that the medical products we use are genuine and stored safely before they reach us? To improve consumer confidence and safety, Zuellig Pharma has launched Easy Tracker, an innovative and secure blockchain solution. With just one scan, we can track and verify if your product is safe for you, delivering unparalleled levels of quality control and compliance you can trust. Verification is now made easy in the palm of your hand. Download the Easy Tracker app today, an easy solution for your peace of mind. As we now...
Sorry. So I hope you enjoyed the time and really learn more about how blockchain application is being used in the farm industry. I'd like to say thank you for giving me this time and the opportunity. If you're interested, or anybody's interested to explore how we could collaborate further with us, please reach out to us. Obviously, we have an email there at easytracker@zulipharma.com, or you can. We obviously have a presence in Indonesia. So yeah, we'd be happy to talk more, and the APL representative is details are there. So thank you very much, and thank you for giving me the time to share today.
Wow, what a very insightful and very interesting topic from Daniel. Thank you so much, Daniel. So during his session, we were able to know on how connecting all stakeholders in the supply chain, as well as how Easy Trackers tackles different challenges in the pharmaceutical industry. So with that, we will be having our last session, which is panel discussion. And the topic, it will be about Beyond Crypto. And the moderator for today will be from Pinky. So everyone, if you have any questions for each speakers, please feel free to drop it in the in the chat box below. And later on, we will be addressing it at the end of the panel discussion. Over to you, Pinky.
Yes. Hi all. Good afternoon. So thank you so much to participate this event. I'm Pinky from Alibaba Cloud as head of financial business. So today I'm as a moderator for panel discussion. So here we have the speaker, Derek Loy, as General Manager, International Business Intelligent Technology Group from N Group. And then Richard Ng as blockchain developer from PundiX Labs. And Daniel Leverick as VP of Digital and Data Solution from Zulik Pharma. So thank you so much for the presentation about blockchain. That's really interesting. I heard about connecting the dots between 3Ts, tokenization, trust and trade, blockchain ecosystem and platform, blockchain application in pharmaceutical industry. So, and now let's continue to the panel discussion. We will have some discussion based on the list question. So the topic, Darlene already mentioned, Beyond Crypto. So yeah, blockchain technology has been surrounded by plenty of hype, which makes many business leaders keenly interested in adopting it, but also concerned about blockchain challenge and risks. At its most basic, blockchain refers to peer-to-peer distributed ledger technology that can record transactions between two parties efficiently and in a variable and permanent way. Enabling tracking and traceability, this emerging technology has game-changing potential for a wide range of applications that go far beyond its roots in cryptocurrency. So the question is, first question, what are the challenges and misunderstanding of the blockchain industry? For example, Bitcoin is as applicable to crypto only. So maybe Derek can help to answer this question. Oh, Derek. Hi, Derek.
Seems that he unmuted himself, but we cannot hear him.
Yeah, I cannot hear you. Maybe while we're waiting for Derek, maybe Richard can help to answer this question.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so I would like to touch on some misunderstandings of blockchain or crypto. So right now, a lot of people, or rather the mass market right now, what they hear about crypto or blockchain is, Elon Musk tweets, or, if they read the newspaper, they'll see like how this 13-year-old boy is able to use NFTs to earn millions, and then you're just sitting back at home wondering what you're doing in your day job, right? How come this 13-year-old boy can be earning so much more than you? So, and it also begs the question fundamental versus technical analysis. So, the latest Squid Game, right? It's all basically about hype, the Squid coin. So basically the price just goes up, everyone jumps on the bandwagon, and next thing the people just do a rug pull. So people don't really understand what blockchain technology is, the mass market. So, mainly is because they don't really understand code, and, media is one way to really reach out to them. And the media always portrays a a very hyped up version of the entire crypto industry. So I think that's one of the major misunderstandings that we have.
Thanks for the answer. Maybe Daniel can help to add.
Yeah, sure. I think if you do a quick search around blockchain in Asia, I guess the chances are you'll see a lot of content and conferences really revolving around digital finance and Bitcoin. However, beyond Bitcoin, blockchain's been starting to be heavily invested by companies really to address enterprise scale problems, and so this is I kind of trying to break this misconception that it's only related to crypto or Bitcoin, and we're now seeing this kind of becoming commonplace. A few years ago, it was maybe blockchain would have been seen as quite a hype, and there was maybe a lot of naysayers out there who say it's going to be kind of a flash in the pan, and it's just going to kind of it's not going to go anywhere. But now it's actually becoming a standard, and really being able to, in the industry that I'm in obviously in the pharmaceutical supply chain, being able to kind of break down these silos and be able to offer an end-to-end transparency of the supply chain is kind of key to that. But building out an ecosystem and really playing on I guess the strengths of blockchain around its immutability, the security, things that still take a little bit of an education process. I don't think we're there yet, but we're starting to see it being more readily adopted into kind of enterprises rather than it being seen as more of a kind of a fancy fintech type solution.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Daniel. And then maybe Derek can help to add more.
Sure. I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Awesome. Yeah, just now I had to put on my headset because I was in office, but now I managed to get into a room. So the reality is this, right? Definitely there is more to blockchain than just crypto. And I think N Group and N-Chain is a very good example of that, because right from the beginning, I've mentioned clearly that N-Chain does not do anything with cryptocurrency, with payment tokens, right? So I've made that clear right at the beginning. But yeah, at the same time, we have experienced huge growth in our business with regards to how we have apply real world use cases of blockchain. With regards to tokenization, with regards to traceability, with regards to supply chain finance, which secures cross-border payment. And last but not least, I spend a lot of time talking about copyright and content protection, right? So these are all practical use case that is not crypto, right? But there is now, definitely seeing a need, because a lot of transaction has gone online, and therefore there's a need for digital trust, which is enabled by the characteristics of blockchain. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I say this clearly, that we are very focused, and we have seen tremendous growth in these areas, and these are practical use case that I would love to discuss more with anybody that is interested.
Okay, thank you, Derek, to add more point on this. So thank you so much for the answer about challenge and misunderstanding of the blockchain industry. So yeah, for the next question, like we all have heard at least one description of what blockchain is, and perhaps that description had something to do with money or cryptocurrency, but blockchain technology has broader application than cryptocurrency. In the future, blockchain technology could be a part of many everyday business-to-business transactions, including those powered by enterprise application. So the next question is, what are the application of blockchain in different scenario? Yeah, maybe Daniel can help to answer.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I'm coming from a very different angle. For me, and the kind of the industry that we're in, it's all about supply chain transparency, I guess you could say, and so that can be everything to what I touched on around products track and trace. It could be cold chain monitoring. It could be kind of auto replenishment. I think the key one for really for us is that once we build up this this end-to-end ecosystem and really connect multiple players into this blockchain network, the use cases themselves just kind of keep on coming and kind of falling over themselves. And so for me, if we could get to a situation where a patient can verify the authenticity of a product, can verify the quality that product was stored and delivered in, then what's to stop us then automatically triggering a bank payment or automatic payment or some sort of supply chain financing takes into place. And basically, we then have a closed loop kind of network or ecosystem where there's no real human intervention needing to take place. Nobody needs to send an invoice. Nobody needs to go and pay into the bank. Everything can be automated and kind of verified through smart contracts. I think we're a little bit away from that, but this is the kind of the vision that we're trying to build with the solution. I think first was obviously to build this network, build this backbone to get the adoption and scale, and then after that, we're starting to see the use cases kind of fall off from what we've been building.
I see. Okay, Gareth, maybe Derek can add more on the answer. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think there is, from what I'm hearing, right, in terms of the questions, it is important to also recognize that a lot of real world use cases doesn't revolve around a single technology, right? I think sometimes there tend to be too much expectation around the fact that blockchain can save the world. Let me be the first to say that no, that's not the case. It is about the combination of the right categories of solutions that really then solves a real world problem, right? So, for N Group, right, for N Chain, we do have a very broad portfolio of industry use cases. I mentioned 50 plus and growing. And, the way we solve those industry real world problems is by combining blockchain with AI, intelligent IoT, analytics, so and so forth, right? That then, really helps to address a specific issue. And I think this is something that I want to make clear here, right? At the end of the day, it's not just about one technology, right? It is actually about combining multiple technologies, solutioning it, addressing it, mapping it to the customer's business problems, and then coming up with a balance between cost and price that then allows for an ROI. So I think that is something which I really want to emphasize again, and that's the approach that we have taken.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And then maybe Richard can help to answer.
Actually, just to add on Derek's point as well, I think we are at a stage where, blockchain has kind of proven itself. There is a viable and advanced kind of technology, but also, we should also take note that, using blockchain technology, you can't save the world. I mean, a lot of companies, tend to just think that, okay, I'll just throw in the blockchain technology into my ecosystem and, wow, I can see the share price go up by 10-20%. But in reality, that's not really the case. We really need to assess, whether using blockchain technology is a viable thing, like whether we should store something on chain or whether we should do it off chain or whether it should be a private or public blockchain. And also, I think blockchain technology is still in its infancy. Like even just look at Ethereum, right? You have ERC20 standards, and then now you have ERC 721 standards, which create your NFTs. So the blockchain technology and anything related to this also is slowly evolving and slowly advancing. So, we'll slowly see more applications of it in the future.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the answer. So we'll all learn about the combining multiple technology, addressing it, and coming up with the balance, and also the combination of the right category solution. And I thank you so much for the answer. So the next one is like the blockchain technology is taking the world by storm. Blockchain, with its decentralized, transparent, and secure nature, has emerged as a technology for the next generation of numerous industrial applications. So one of them is Cloud of Things, enabled by the combination of cloud computing and Internet of Things. In this context, blockchain provides innovative solutions to address challenges in cloud in terms of decentralization, data privacy, and network security, while cloud over elasticity and scalability functionalities to improve the efficiency of blockchain operation. So the next question is, how do platform and cloud play a role in it? Maybe Richard can help to answer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I actually did a live demo just now, and we actually spun up a few validator nodes. So validator nodes are basically full nodes inside the ecosystem. So an entire full node will have the snapshot of the entire blockchain data as well as the current state. So that really, if you're part of the ecosystem with a validator node, you can make transactions. And you can participate in governance, as I have shown just now as well. So especially with the blockchain world transitioning from blockchain 1.0 to blockchain 2.0, whereas the older versions were mainly proof of work, and now it's all proof of stake. So that's why the reduce in hardware requirements and less power intensive blockchains. So that really pushes for more cloud services. Anyone or everyone can just spin up a cloud instance and join an ecosystem. You don't need to have GPUs or ASICs to join like the Bitcoin network anymore. You can start using cloud services to spin up validator nodes and join the new Function X blockchain.
Yep. Yes, agree with that. Maybe Derek can help to add.
Absolutely. So this is a very good question in the sense that, this is another real world practical use case for blockchain where we have seen that being integrated with, analytics and with, edge computing to actually enable, IoT to be a lot more relevant, right? And a lot more interactive. So let me explain what I mean, right? So, IoT is more about just sensors, right? It's more about just collection of data. It's the ability to actually analyze and extract insight from those data that's collected by the edge sensors, and then to provide a feedback, right, or a response, right, in almost near real time, that then allows the interaction, right, to bring additional value, right, to the consumers, right, or to the customers at the edge. And this has been brought about, or this has been made possible due to a couple of innovation in recent years, right? So first and foremost, the gradual rollout of 5G, right, has actually provided the perfect conduit at the edge of the network now, where there's a higher bandwidth, there's a lower latency, which allows for that, that bandwidth intensive but latency sensitive, right, interaction that is so much needed for the feedback loop from IoT. Secondly, is also about the fact that there's edge computing, which now introduce a level of computing power to the edge, right? And this then allows for the processing that's needed in order to do the analysis and in order to provide the real-time response. Thirdly, and N Group has made a lot of advancement in this area. We have also integrated AI as well as blockchain into IoT chipsets, right? That and IoT devices, which therefore now allows for that one-stop shop processing, right, of the data that's collected by the sensors, together with applying the right, blockchain capabilities in order to provide that secure transaction and immutability, right to the edge of the platform, or right to the edge of, the data platform. Then last but not least, I mentioned earlier about the fact that, at the end of the day, it is all about interoperability. And this is where, N Group has also developed, beyond the usual sensors, right? The RFID tags that we are also familiar with. We have also worked with a lot of other sensors and hardware partners to actually develop the right APIs, the cloud APIs, the device SDKs that works with such third-party sensors and devices. And that to us is really where you now combine the best of both worlds, right? You have the sensors, you have the edge computing and the chipsets, that now comes with these capabilities. And then you have the platform and the ledger, being, now availed, right, through the specialized API, so that they can do an API call, to this analytics and this blockchain platforms. So that is something that has enabled us, for example, to automate the entire manufacturing for Chery, a car manufacturer, where we have automated the entire supply chain to be just in time, and to also allow them to be more agile, right, in customizing certain of the car features for their customers. Another area which we have also enabled this, AIoT, is in the area of shipment. All right, so gone are the days when you need people to literally track, the containers that are coming in, the cartons that are coming in. Now with the right AI and IoT blockchain that's infused into third-party cameras through our cloud API, we are able to actually introduce geo fencing and automated detection of all these cartons and containers as they go through international ports, right, international borders. And this again really helps to introduce that end-to-end automation. It speeds up, the supply chain finance, and it allows us to then give more trust back to our customers. So I just want to, highlight that, sometimes it's about convergence, and now we have that perfect convergence of 5G, of all these AI and IoT and blockchain capabilities all coming together, as well as the introduction of APIs and SDK, which then makes for interoperability to be easier.
Thank you, Derek, for the great answer. And maybe Daniel want to add something.
Yeah, there's not much left to add. I think Derek covered it pretty well. But I guess really, both blockchain and cloud, I guess they are distributed in nature. And so really for blockchain solutions like EasyTracker, cloud really allows for seamless sharing of information across the various nodes and the stakeholders. We're seeing now patients, healthcare practitioners, authorities, they all are demanding greater assurance and data protection. So having blockchain and cloud really strengthens the data management and gives consumers peace of mind, knowing that their data will not be mishandled or abused. Now, if we can take that one step further and we build on to the blockchain network, we can now look at things like fog computing, or we can look at confidential computing. So how do we even take this one level further to make sure that the security and compliance is there, and kind of building out that whole confidence in the blockchain network that we're putting together.
Yeah, thank you all for the great answer about the platform and cloud play a role in it. And then, last one, like a blockchain for business is valuable for entities transacting with one another. With distributed large technology permission, participants can access the same information at the same time to improve efficiency, build trust, and remove friction. So blockchain also allows a solution to rapidly size and scale, and many solutions can be adapted to perform multiple tasks across industries. So blockchain for business delivers this benefit based on 4 attributes unique to the technology. So, and the last question from the panel discussion today, what are the challenges we've seen to apply blockchain in the business? So maybe Derek can help to answer.
I would say that the biggest challenges, you know, I would say are threefold, right? So first and foremost, I mentioned about security, especially to smart contract audit. And this is even this will be even more applicable as we see a lot more cross-chain or multi-chain interactions, right? You know, there is a need for smart contracts to be audited so that they are aligned, or should I say, they are based upon the same agreement on the attributes as well as on, you know, how these attributes apply, you know, when they cross the chain. The second challenge that we definitely see is also the fact that, you know, we must also recognize the fact that the world will not just be made up of permission-based blockchain or public blockchain, right? It will be a combination. It's just like cloud, right? There will always be multiple cloud. There's no one single cloud that will rule the world, right? So I would say that at this moment, there's still a lot of discussion about the protocol, you know, how exchanges, data exchanges, metadata interoperability, you know, sharding between chains can be established. Increasingly, we do see that that is where the trend will go. That, you know, each consortium or each region or each you know, association will have their own permission-based blockchain. But in order to truly bring the benefits of blockchain, you know, to the population, you have to look at how the chain can be talking to each other. So I think that's the second challenge that I want to highlight. The third challenge is really about, you know, keeping the costs manageable, right? Because as we all know, right, there's always a price elasticity to everything that we do, right? And at this moment, I do see that again, because of either hype or speculation, there is a lot of expectation. We have to measure that with regards to how we price this. And you know, I look forward to the day when this can be priced as a service in a similar manner to what we see from cloud computing today. And I'm not just referring to blockchain as a service, right? Because that is already available today. But it's more of the use cases for blockchain. How can we then price it in such a way that it becomes more accessible and more affordable and more what do you call it, user friendly, right, to the commercial customers.
Thank you, Derek. Maybe Richard can help to answer.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, going back to like one of the first questions, right, about you know, what are the challenges of blockchain as well. I think right now, you know, we haven't really reached mass adoption yet. And also there's still a lot of misunderstanding about blockchain. You know, people don't really see the functionalities or, you know, the use cases, like for example, in supply chain management in pharmaceutical, or like you know, in NFTs. You know, like for example, like working in this company, people always ask, you know, when your coin or your token will 3x or 4x. You know, people don't really care whether, you know, once you start a governance proposal, whether it really goes through. So I think there's a kind of a mismatch between price and value. So people don't really understand, because people don't really understand the fundamentals of a project or the entire blockchain, right? So then they all they see is how much hype there is. So in so doing also, you know, like they kind of shift off the company's focus to just focus on things that are, you know, easy to churn out or easy to, you know, produce, or something that's very hyped up. So I think that's what needs to be addressed, especially in this ecosystem. And, you know, for mass adoption, it's not just mass adoption, but also like the quality of education, that for people to understand the projects better and to understand blockchain technology better as a whole as well.
Thanks. Thanks, Richard. And then maybe Daniel want to add some point.
Yeah, I think I really there's 2 points there. Richard touched on one. I think there is a distinct lack of education and awareness, certainly for enterprise use. You know, blockchain is still relatively nascent to many people, and there's really a need for education. Really, how people can understand its value and how we can learn to adopt it inside the business. So I think that's really, you're starting to see companies outside the financial service industry are kind of exploring business use cases to make full potential, a full use of the potential, but I don't think we're anywhere near where it could be. So I'd say that's probably a key one. The other one for us is really around how new blockchain is. So really finding talent in this space is very difficult or challenging. Finding blockchain engineers or building an in-house team, it takes a huge amount of time. There's a lot of demand in the market for the same very small pool of resources. And obviously it's changing so fast. So these engineers, they're constantly having to keep up to date, to learn new ways of blockchain, what's out there and how this can be applied to the business. And it's not easy. And so I guess that goes hand in hand with Derek's comment about trying to keep this cost effective. It's certainly in the pharma industry, it's margins in kind of distribution are very small. So how do we make sure this is cost effective, that it doesn't become a barrier to adoption or barrier to be able to scale the ecosystem?
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you, Daniel. So yeah, thank you so much for the answer about the challenge we've seen to apply blockchain in the business. So we all know that the challenge, like the people don't really see and understand, and then people don't really know about the between price and value, and also about the lack of education, and then security, and keeping the cost manageable. Thank you so much for all the great answer. So I think that's the ending of the panel discussion today. Thank you so much for the panelists for the great answer and explanation. So thank you. And then back to Darlene. Darlene?
Sure. Thank you, Pinky, and the speakers for the panel discussion. I think we were able to learn a lot of different things, yeah, especially because blockchain, it's something new in Indonesia. So I think a lot of the audiences are able to learn about different things too. So we have a few questions for the speakers, and maybe we can answer some of them. So first of all, we have from Haisheng. So NFT is a big story. Can I ask how many arts and value in Ant blockchain now? Maybe Derek can answer that. Thank you.
Sure. So, again, I want to highlight the fact that for Ant, we prefer to name NFT as digital collectibles, which really reflects how we look at NFT, in a more practical use case scenario, right? It is about creating a unique signature that's tied to a digital identity or digital asset that has obviously a real world value, right? And making sure that it's not just about the trading and the market speculation about it, but more about how we then allow for such digital assets and uniqueness to be valued, and to be to allow them to the owner, right, to have unique ownership of this digital assets. So that's one. Now, in terms of the number of NFTs or digital collectibles that we have on our N-Chain platform, it is growing by the day, right? For sure. I will not be able to reveal the exact figure because obviously that is of a certain competitive nature. But suffice to say that for example, the Hangzhou torch that you saw earlier, we produced 20,000 of that, and that was sold out within like a few seconds. And you can go and think about the number of new releases every day, every week, and you can what do you call postulate from there, right? So at this moment, if it's okay, I can't share due to competitive reasons.
Thank you, Derek. And then following up for the question, so I think these two questions can be combined into one. So from Achmad, it will be, so Ant blockchain is private blockchain or public blockchain? And also from Haisheng, maybe you can address this as well at the same time. DNA protection is quite costly. Is it widely used or just for some very precious art? Thank you.
Sure. So N-Chain comprises both public blockchain, private blockchain, as well as non-blockchain capabilities such as AIoT, analytics, eKYC, and so on and so forth, right? But coming back to your question, right? So, if we were to build a certain tokenization, capability for a client, that obviously will be a permission-based private blockchain, right? Because it is only applicable to the community, right? That the enterprise is, rolling out the tokens to. Take for example our traceability platform, right? We have a global traceability platform for food chain, for cold chain, for fabric that is ESG certified. And in all these cases, it is only rolled out by that particular company, to their users. So these are what they call private blockchain. But at the same time, we also have Trustable, which is our global public supply chain finance platform that's built on blockchain. And that is where we have a website. If you go to trustable.com, you can actually, register an account, able to make transactions on that. So that is a public blockchain. Another example of a public blockchain is GSBN, Global Shipping Business Network, which we have set up to automate the entire bill of lading process for cross-border shipping. So this consortium is comprising Hapag-Lloyd, Costco, right, and EPSA. Again, this is a public blockchain because we have recently signed on DBS, HSBC, who's also providing some of their financing, insurance services, to the shipping community, right? So that is a public blockchain. So I will say a summary to my answer earlier. It's a combination of both that we provide, and it's really back to the use cases that you're working on. DNA protection, is due to the economy of scale, as well as obviously the innovation that Ant has put into this. We have make it affordable, not only for digital art, but also for digital media, sound bites, video clips, even literature. Right, so our DNA capability has been used, by a lot of digital media companies, a lot of celebrity bloggers, a lot of digital IP creation, or digital IP owners, to actually protect their digital assets, right? And again, there's various levels of DNA, right? That we can apply to then, allow us to securely protect, as well as detect any infringement. That it is not just restricted to precious art. Then, with regards to learning of blockchain, I think that's something which I'm quite sure all the panelists here are very eager to see how we can work with you, all right, to enable the right curriculum. For N-Chain, we obviously have our own certification, which we will be delivering in a workshop, a developers conference in Q1 of next year. All right, so there's an N-Chain certified associate certification. We also work with a lot of the universities and institutions in this part of the world to provide the curriculum, the content, the trainers as part of their blockchain courses or fintech courses. Right, so look out for that. But this is how we feel, right, that it's important to contribute back to the community and to participate at the early stages where it's about reaching out to students and adults who are continuously interested in relearning and enhancing their further education.
Thank you, Derek, for the answer. And another question will be from Timothy. So this is for Z Pharma. What I wanted to ask is related to healthcare. Is it possible to implement blockchain for COVID-19 test result? Since I'm very sure it can be applied in various use cases such as transportation, administrations, and etc. So maybe Daniel, you can help to answer that.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, one of the areas I didn't touch on actually is we have used this in in COVID vaccines and COVID tests in the Philippines. So we have a solution called EasyVax, basically built on the same blockchain network. It's actually administered close to over 1.5 million COVID vaccines. And with that, obviously, COVID vaccine certificates and COVID vaccine tests as well. Obviously, all blockchain backed and able to be stored on an app on the patient's phone and downloaded into the wallet. So we're already using that solution and using the kind of the blockchain network as the backbone to support that.
So I see that Zuellig Pharma is likely to use private blockchain. Is it correct? If yes, do you use Hyperledger Fabric to develop the blockchain network or use the others?
Yes, correct. It's a private consortium, I guess, permissioned blockchain, and we're using Hyperledger Fabric. Reason why, obviously, some key benefits. Certainly for our use case, it's obviously industry standard. It's the level of maturity, and then the fact that we can obviously establish trust, reliability, and have the kind of throughput capability that we needed. So yeah, in short, it's exactly as described. It's a private blockchain using Hyperledger Fabric.
Sure. Thank you, Daniel. I think that's all for the questions today. And thank you so much for joining, and I hope you all are staying safe.